For more great recipes and video tips, hit the bell icon once you're subscribed and never miss a video from Recipes Are Simple.
Hey everyone, I'm Shana and today we're making Poori Bhaji. Pooris are Indian deep fried flatbreads. They puff up perfectly with this recipe and usually they're made for breakfast along with a potato masala called Potato Bhaji or Aloo Bhaji. The combination of these two together, it's commonly referred to as Poori Bhaji. So this is really simple to make. The kids always love it and it doesn't take much time to prepare them both. So let's get down to the recipe. So here's a quick look at the ingredient list. And let's get started. To make around 8 deep fried flatbreads or 8 puris, we need 1 cup of wheat flour or atta. I'm using just a little bit more than a cup here because I want my puris a little bit bigger. To this, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of semolina. This is coarse grain semolina. Semolina comes from durum wheat. This is often a common ingredient in pizza dough. So adding the semolina, the coarse grain semolina, helps to keep your puris nice and crispy, and it also helps them to stay puffed and not deflate before you serve them. And to this, we're adding 2 teaspoons of ghee or clarified butter. I do urge you not to use butter instead because it tends to make the puris heavier in taste. The ghee adds delicious flavor and softens the puri, but you shouldn't add more than 2 teaspoons. And next we're going to add some salt. Add about a 1/4 teaspoon for this mixture. Some people like to add a pinch of sugar. This helps to make your puris more golden in color when they're fried, but I opt not to use the sugar. And now, before you add any water, you want to mix this thoroughly using your fingers. You really want to work that ghee into the flour evenly so that it's evenly distributed. Using your fingers to rub the flour till all the ghee moistens the flour evenly. The color changes slightly resembling cornmeal. So do that and then we can add water. So this is when we add our water. Add only a 1/4 cup of room temperature water to begin with. This should be sufficient, but you might need to add a little bit more if the dough doesn't come together. Just work it with your hands, knead it gently till it forms a soft dough. This dough must not be overworked. You can just knead it till it becomes soft and it holds together. Just form a round ball and it should be done. The puri dough should not be overworked. And also the dough should not be sticky. If you have sticky dough, that means you've added too much water and you will get greasy puris. They'll absorb excess oil, so they shouldn't be sticky. And also, once the dough is formed, you can make puris right away. You don't need to keep this dough. Actually, keeping the dough for a while makes them absorb more oil as well. So if you do need to set the dough aside to attend to something else, make sure that you cover it with a lightly damp cloth, but try to make the puris as immediately as possible. Just quickly divide the dough into 8 equal parts and then take each portion and roll it into a nice ball. Now we're using a tortilla press or a chapati press to press our puris into the round flat shape. You just want to grease both sides of the tortilla press or the chapati press. You don't want to roll your balls of puri dough in oil. You can just place it in the center of the oiled surface and then you want to press firmly but gently. Now you want to evenly press your puri into a round flat shape, but here you really want to be careful that you don't over press them too hardly so that they're too thin, and they should not be too thick as well. If they're too thick, one side of the puri will be heavy and absorb a lot of oil when you fry them, and if they're too thin, it absorbs too much oil too quickly and it doesn't taste as good as well. So you really want them to look like this. And for my friends who may not have a tortilla press or a chapati press, sometimes what I do when I don't have access to one, I use 2 identical steel plates. Use flat bottom steel plates and you want to grease the bottom side of both and then place the ball of puri dough between the greased surfaces and just press with your hands so that you get a flattened puri. Now this is a quick tip for you. And as you press each puri, you can fry them. So here I have some sunflower oil for deep frying. You should have a good amount of oil so that the puri is nice and deep in oil when it's being fried. If you use too little oil, you won't get the nice puff puris that you're after. You also want to make sure that the oil has come up to heat nicely before you add your first puri. It should be nice and hot but not smoking. And once it's nice and hot, you want to regulate the heat so that you lower the heat while the puris are being fried, or they become too brown too quickly. If the oil is getting too hot, you can always turn off the flame and turn it back on to adjust the heat. So your oil must always be nice and hot, but never too hot that it's smoking. And once the puris are fried, you want to drain them off like this. Just tilt them for a while over the oil before you place them in a colander and go on to your next puri. Okay, so once you've laid the puri gently into the oil, you want to wait for it to slightly puff up. Once you see signs of it puffing up, you can just press it with a perforated ladle like this. Just press it once and it should puff up nicely. The first side you don't want to fry too long because it's thinner and it will get brown if you leave it in the oil for too long. So you want to turn it over, and then you want to fry the second side a little bit longer because that side has more dough on it, but not too long. So you don't want to flip it over again. You only want to fry each side once for perfect puris. The whole process should take only about 30 seconds for one puri. So here we're doing another one. As you can see, it's laid into the oil gently. It starts to puff up, and then you can just press on it very gently just to help it puff up a bit more. And the first side is fried very briefly, and then you can flip it over. And the next side is fried for a slightly longer time, just about 30 seconds per puri. And make sure you drain it really well on the sides of the wok. Now sometimes you don't even need to press down on the puri for it to puff up. It will puff up on its own, like you see here. I didn't need to press that one at all. It's perfectly puffed, and just flip it over. So puris are really easy to make once you get the hang of the timing, and they're so quick and easy. You also want to make sure that the oil from your ladle doesn't drip back on the top of the surface of the puri, so hold it to the side of your pan or wok. And using a wok like this with a heavy base is always best for the best results. So once you've fried your puris, you want to place them in a colander spread out so that they don't deflate. You don't want to press on them too much, and they should stay nice and puffed and crispy till they're served. You want to serve them quickly with the potato bhaji or the potato masala, which is really simple as well, and you can check that out in my next video. So to eat your puris, you really want to use your hands. It makes all the difference. Eating puris with your hands and just dipping it in a little bit of that potato masala is the way to do it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video recipe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye!
If you like my videos and recipes, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. You can also take a picture of a dish that you prepared from Recipes Are Simple and share it on one of my social media links.